I swear, I thought we were past the whole college drama phase of our relationship. But apparently, I was wrong. 2 weeks ago, my fiancé dropped this little bomb over dinner. So, my bachelorette party is going to be 5 days in Miami with my old college roommate, Jake. You know, my bestie. Deal with it. She said it like she was announcing the weather. I literally froze with my fork halfway to my mouth. Jake? The same Jake who used to sleep on your couch when you forgot to tell me you were dating me? She rolled her eyes. Oh my God, stop. He's just a friend. We've been through this. We're staying in separate rooms and I need a break before the wedding. Right? A break. 1 month before we tie the knot. With a guy who still calls her roomie on Instagram. Totally normal. Here's the thing, I'm not the jealous type. At least I didn't used to be. But this felt different. It wasn't just about her going away, it was about the way she shut me down before I could even say anything. She didn't ask if I was okay with it. She told me I had to deal with it. That hit me harder than I expected. And yeah, for anyone wondering, this wasn't the first time Jake's been in the picture. Back when we first started dating, she used to accidentally forget to tell me he was crashing in her apartment after late nights out. She swore it was innocent. I let it slide. But deep down, I never fully bought it. So I just stared at her and said, okay, have fun. Her smile faltered for a second. Maybe she expected a fight. But I just kept eating. And that's when I decided, if she wanted a Miami getaway with her bestie, I could have some fun too. I didn't say anything that night, but in my head, the gears were already turning. Mini plot twist? Her just a friend was about to meet my just a friend. And trust me, I knew exactly who to call. The next few days, I tried to play it cool. I didn't want her to think I was spiraling into some insecure meltdown, but every time her phone buzzed and I saw Jake pop up on the screen, my stomach did this weird twist. One night, I walked into the living room and she was on FaceTime with him. She didn't even notice me at first. They were laughing about some old college story that I wasn't part of. Something about tequila shots and a fire alarm. When she finally looked up, she muted the call and said, "Hey babe, we're just finalizing the Airbnb. It's right on the beach. Isn't that awesome?" I forced a smile. Sounds great. How much is that costing you? Oh, Jake's covering most of it? He said it's his treat. She said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. That was my first real red flag. Why is another guy, who's supposedly just a friend, paying for my fiancé's beach vacation? The next morning while she was in the shower, I made coffee and sat at the kitchen counter, replaying her words in my head. It wasn't even about money. It was the principle. The fact that she was totally fine with him funding this trip, but if I so much as liked an Instagram photo of a female friend, she'd be asking questions. And just like that, the memory of Amber popped into my head. Amber was my old neighbor from my sophomore year. Fun, wild, and yes, very much single. We never dated, but we definitely had a flirty friendship. A petty little voice in my head said, what if I invited Amber to my bachelor party? I could almost hear my fiancé's voice. That's different. Of course it would be different. It's always different when she's the one doing it. Later that day, I casually mentioned to my best man, Tyler, that I was thinking of making the bachelor party more than just a night at a bar. What if we did a weekend trip, maybe the lake house, and maybe invited some old friends? Tyler grinned like he'd just won the lottery. Oh, you mean Amber? Dude, that's savage. I'm in. That was the first time in days I felt like I had the upper hand again. And honestly, I couldn't wait to see how this played out. By the end of that week, the plan was locked in my head. A full weekend at my buddy Ryan's lake house 2 hours out of town. Fishing during the day, bonfire parties at night, and yes, Amber would be there. I shot her a message on Instagram. Hey stranger, been a while. We're doing a lake weekend for my bachelor party, you should come. She replied in under 5 minutes. Hell yes, I'll bring the tequila. Tyler was in charge of logistics. Ryan offered the house for free. He thought the whole thing was hilarious. It's about time someone called her bluff, he said. Meanwhile, my fiancée was busy packing bikinis for Miami. Every evening, she'd be in the bedroom with an open suitcase, talking on speakerphone with Jake about matching outfits for their trip. I didn't say a word. I just kept my poker face. 3 days before the trips, I accidentally left my laptop open with the bachelor party guest list pulled up. She walked by, glanced at the screen, and froze. Amber? As in your Amber? Her voice had that sharp edge I was waiting for. Yeah, I said casually, sipping my coffee. She's just a friend. You know, like Jake. The silence was thick enough to cut with a knife. She opened her mouth, closed it, then stormed off without saying a word. Later that night, she tried to play it off. I just think it's weird. You inviting her? I shrugged. Is it? I mean, you're going to Miami with Jake for 5 days. This is just 2 nights. Totally different, right? The truth is, I didn't even know how I wanted this to end. Part of me hoped she'd cancel her trip. Part of me wanted to see her squirm. And a small, petty part of me wanted Jake to know she wasn't the only one with options. The next morning, Tyler texted me. Dude, Jake just messaged Amber. I stared at my phone. What? Apparently, Jake slid into her DMs with a classic, "Hey, so you're going to the bachelor party, just curious how you know him." Amber, being Amber, screenshotted the whole thing and sent it to me. Your girl's bestie seems territorial. I laughed out loud. Oh, this was about to get messy. By the next day, things were spiraling fast. I was in the middle of a work call when my phone started blowing up. First, a text from Amber. Your fiancé's bestie just called me. Twice. Then Tyler. Bro, Jake is losing it. This is gold. Apparently, after sliding into Amber's DMs, Jake decided to go full CIA. He called her, pretending to be concerned about my bachelor party plans. Amber told him, in her own unfiltered way, to mind his business. An hour later, my fiancé stormed into my home office, arms crossed, eyes blazing. What the hell, Alex? Jake says you're trying to get back at me by inviting Amber. I muted my Zoom call and leaned back in my chair. Back at you. Number, I'm just having my own weekend with my friends, same as you. Equal rights, remember? Her jaw tightened. This is different. You and Amber had a thing. I cut her off. No, we didn't. But even if we did, wouldn't that make it exactly the same as you going away with Jake? She froze. I could see the gears turning, but she wasn't ready to admit it. Instead, she said, Jake's uncomfortable with this. He's thinking about canceling the trip. I smiled, couldn't help it. Sounds like his problem. That night, I heard her pacing in the living room, phone pressed to her ear. No, Jake, I'm not telling him to uninvite her. Well, because I don't have that right. Okay, fine, but it's not the same. She didn't know I was in the hallway listening. Every sentence was dripping with hypocrisy. The next morning, Jake made his big move. He posted a vague, emo-style Facebook status. Some people don't respect boundaries. Guess you see who they really are before it's too late. His friends flooded the comments with sympathy, and of course, my fiancé liked the post. Tyler sent me the screenshot with the caption, "Drama level equals high school." By lunchtime, I got another message from Amber. So, Jake just texted me again. He says if I show up, he's canceling the Miami trip. Your call. And that's when it hit me. Jake wasn't worried about boundaries. He was worried about losing control. I texted back, show up. Bring the tequila. 2 days before our trips, it finally happened. The nuclear meltdown. I was making breakfast when she came into the kitchen, eyes red, phone in hand. She slapped it down on the counter like she was throwing a trump card. Jake's not going to Miami anymore, she said, voice shaking. I looked up from my eggs. Oh? Why's that? Because you had to invite Amber. He said it made him uncomfortable, and now the whole group's bailing. Congratulations, you ruined my bachelorette party. I set down the spatula and leaned on the counter. So, you're telling me he canceled because my friend is going to my party? Not because of work, not because of money, just because he doesn't want me to have the same freedom you were taking for yourself? She opened her mouth, closed it, then snapped, "It's not the same. Amber's, she's, you know." "Yeah, I know," I said. "I know she's my friend. Just like Jake is yours. Funny how one set of rules works for you and another works for me." She glared at me like she wanted to throw something. "You're petty. You don't trust me." I took a deep breath. "No, I trusted you enough to let you go to Miami with a guy who's clearly into you. But you didn't trust me enough to let me have a weekend with someone you think I had a thing with. See the difference?" She didn't answer. Instead, she grabbed her phone and stormed out. A few hours later, Tyler sent me the final nail in the coffin, a screenshot from a mutual friend's text. Apparently, Jake admitted he didn't feel right going on the trip once he found out I'd be with Amber. His exact words? "I thought this week would be our time to reconnect before she got married." Reference, connect. I sat there staring at the words, my coffee going cold. All this time, she swore he was just a friend, and yet here he was basically confessing that he saw her bachelorette trip as some romantic getaway. When she came home that night, I didn't yell. I didn't gloat. I just slid my phone across the table with the screenshot. She read it, went pale, and said nothing. And in that silence, I knew she finally got it. The day of my bachelor weekend, I left early with Tyler, music blasting, cooler full of beer in the back seat. I didn't even ask if she had made new plans. Amber showed up at the lake house just as the sun was setting, tequila in one hand, a mischievous grin on her face. "So, am I officially the villain in this story?" I laughed. "Nah, you're just the plot twist." We spent the weekend fishing, grilling, and laughing, like we were back in college. No drama, no lines crossed, just friends having a good time. But in the back of my mind, I kept wondering what my fiancée was doing. When I came back on Sunday, she was sitting in the living room, scrolling on her phone. No smile, no small talk. Just a flat. "Did you have fun with Amber?" I sat down across from her. "Yeah, totally drama-free. You?" She shrugged. "I canceled Miami. Didn't go anywhere, just stayed home." I nodded, but something in her voice didn't sit right. Later, when she went to take a shower, I walked into the laundry room and noticed a bright beach dress hanging over the hamper. The same one she wore in that old photo from Miami with Jake. There was sand on the hem. On the kitchen counter, tucked under a stack of mail, was a crumpled boarding pass. Departure, Friday morning. Destination, Miami International Airport. I just stood there, staring at it. My chest went cold. She hadn't stayed home. She'd gone. Without Jake, sure, but she'd gone, and she lied straight to my face about it. When she came out of the shower, I didn't say a word, just slid the boarding pass across the table. She froze, then whispered, "It wasn't what you think." I didn't answer. I didn't even know what to say. And now I can't stop thinking, did I actually prove my point? Or did I just uncover something I wasn't ready to know? So, tell me, was I right to play her game, or did I just blow up my own wedding?